Today, I'm going to talk about the 10 signs of a passive-aggressive narcissist. Hi, I'm Nanette. Welcome back to Narcissism Exposed. We all know the number one agenda of the narcissist is to be in control, right? Now, remember, control is an illusion. Freedom is a reality. I want you to remember that. But in the sick and twisted mind of any narcissist is that they are in control at all times. So you have basically two types, and I know there's many listed names of different narcs: cerebral, covert, overt, but the bottom line is you have the more aggressive narcissists and you have the more passive narcissists. But in either different types, you have an overlap. So sometimes the aggressive will be a little more passive and sometimes the passive will be a little more aggressive. So today we're going to talk about the passive aggressive narcissist. And I've listed 10 ways that this particular narcissist gains his or her control. And the first tactic is what I call avoidance. So let's say you've asked him or her, narcissist, for some help. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, the narcissist will say to you, I would love to really help you, but, I just hurt my back and my shoulder and I really can't. Or, I just got in a car accident. I really can't do it right now. And meanwhile, it may be just a little fender bender or nothing at all. Or, I would love to help you, but, my dog's sick. Yeah, my dog's sick. And meanwhile, the dog, Fluffy, is healthy as can be. So you get where I'm going with that. Or somebody in his or her family died. They'll keep making up excuses every time you look for help for that person. And, they'll act very sincere about it. Very, very sweet, very sugary, I like to call it. Like my ex-narc, very sugary, sweet, but full of toxicity. So they'll be very persuasive, but very unreliable. So what does this mean? Basically, it means that the narcissist thinks that his or her life is much more important than bothering to help you do anything. Because as we know, narcissists all think that they're in the superior position and that everybody else is beneath them. And it's another way for them to maintain control. The second sign of a passive-aggressive narcissist is what I call the back-ended insult. So let's take, for instance, a narc man, and he'll say to his woman, that dress is so pretty. Too bad it's getting a little tight on you. Or let's say a woman narcissist is at the beach with her husband or boyfriend, and, she's ogling this really muscular, handsome man, and she taps her boyfriend or husband on the shoulder and says, you'd look really great if you had muscles like him. And if you complain about that insult, they'll say things like, well, I'm just trying to be nice with you. I'm just trying to be honest. What's wrong with you? And basically, that's a form of gaslighting, kind of making you sound like you're crazy for even bringing something like that up. The third sign of the passive-aggressive narcissist is a whole lot of future faking. So the narcissist will promise you the sun, moon, and stars and will know that they're not going to deliver. And when you ask them about it, they'll be like, something really came up. I'm so busy. Or, did I really say that? I just don't remember even promising you that. So you see how they will use that future faking to keep you in control. And they'll be super nice about it, super ooey gooey sweet, as I call it, and make you almost feel guilty for asking them, how come we didn't go boating? Or how come we didn't do this that you promised? And then they'll turn that back on you and shame you and say, why would you accuse me of such a thing? I would never do anything like that to you. Why are you being so non-understanding? Can't you be flexible? So they'll basically put it back on you. The fourth sign of passive aggressiveness is where the narcissist will belittle you, but they'll do it subtly. And instead of owning it when you say something, here's what you'll get back in response. Oh, I'm just kidding. Can't you take a joke? Or, don't be so sensitive. They'll also say, why are you judging me? Or, you know I didn't mean anything by it. Right. Or, I didn't say that. You're going crazy, which is a form of gaslighting. Or they'll say, I'm just calling it like it is. What's the matter? Can't take it? Or they'll try publicly humiliating you in a joking manner and then say, why are you attacking me? I didn't mean anything by that. You're attacking me for nothing. So you get where I'm going with this. Or number 5, the passive aggressive tactic or sign will be where they're always playing the victim. Yeah, those passive aggressive guys and girls love to play the victim card. And they'll say stuff like this. Well, crocodile tears falling. Come on, lights, action, camera, roll them. I'm always wrong with you. Weep, weep. Can't you see I'm trying to please you? Weep, weep. Don't you see how hard I work? Right? Weep, weep. And then I'm just never good enough for you. So all of those comments, they kind of tug at your heart if you don't know that you're dealing with a passive aggressive narcissist. You start to think, well, gosh, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm being too hard, right? And the narcissist knows this. That's why it's passive aggressive. They're not literally coming at you, both barrels blazing. They're doing it subtly on the back end to cut you down. The 6th sign of the passive aggressive narcissist is they love to use deflection. So that's basically where you turn the subject to another pathway, right? So you change the topic. You start saying, you did this last week, and last month you ended up doing this, and this, and I don't know. I'm misremembering. You're misremembering. I'm so confused. Aren't you so confused? So yeah, it's called a word salad, where they'll totally take off the topic of concern you brought up to him or her, and they'll just start shooting arrows this way, that way, to where you're so confused, you don't know you can't remember what you brought up already, right? And that's what they'll do. It's called deflection. The 7th sign is called projection, where the narcissist will take any blame or guilt that belongs to them and shift it over to you. And basically, here's an example. So let's say you suspect your husband or wife of cheating, and you confront him or her, and they will say this, yeah, I would never cheat on you. How dare you even insinuate such a thing? I was thinking the other day that you might actually be seeing somebody, because I thought I saw you at the grocery store, and you looked like you were cozying up to the clerk there, and I've been suspecting things about you for a long time now, and basically projecting that and most likely they are cheating, right, onto you, and blaming you for the very thing that they are doing. Or let's say, some money in the bank is missing, and you confront the passive aggressive narcissist and say, I'm not trying to blame you or anything, but there's over $1,000 missing in my bank account. Would you happen to know what happened to that? And they'll be like in shock. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. No, I don't. Call the police. That happened to me just a month ago. And actually, I thought you took it, but I didn't want to believe the worst about you. Yeah, you should call the police soon as possible. The 8th sign of a passive aggressive narcissist is a silent treatment. And it's not exclusive to the passive aggressive, but this is one they love to do to their victims. So they'll either not respond when you are trying to have a conversation with him or her, and especially if it's confrontational in any way, or they'll give you what I call that blank stare, like they'll dead stare you like you don't even exist, like they're looking right past you, and it's cold and eerie and hideous. I'm sure many of you have felt that. Or they'll ghost you and take off for days, weeks, even months, never even giving you an explanation or any kind of notification of what they're doing or who they're doing it with. And if you dare bring that up to them, they'll say, well, what else could I do in that situation? I just had to get away. I knew you weren't going to be understanding, so I just took time for myself. Look, it's great taking time for yourself, but consideration, communication, and respect needs to go with that. So if you're going to disappear, you should let somebody who thinks you actually care for them know, right? The 9th sign of the passive-aggressive narcissist is that they have double standards. So here's a line I like using in my videos. Here's the narcissist. He or she goes, you know, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. That's right. So you need to share everything fully and completely with the narcissist, but he or she is not going to give you reciprocity. Here are some other double standards. The narcissist can go out anytime they want, but you better stay inside. Or the narcissist can spend excessive money on whatever they want at that time, but you better watch your spending. Or the narcissist can stay out as late as he or she wants, but you have a curfew. Or the narcissist can cozy up to somebody that they're attracted to and flirt, but you better watch your step. So you get where I'm going with this. The 10th sign that I listed for the passive-aggressive narcissist, and this is the last one that I listed, but it's certainly not exclusive or exhaustive, and I'm sure many of you can think of others, is that they get on the defensive. So as soon as you bring something up, they'll start getting their pistols, their barrels out, and pummeling you as to why you're the guilty one. And the more defensive they get, they know most likely you will back down, because rather than deal with their rage and their accusations towards you and their anger, you would rather just back down a bit and let it go. But all that does in the narcissist's sick and twisted mind, it empowers them, because they're like, see, I'm just so in control of everyone. And that's why, when that happens, you need to take your mental notes of all of these signs that I listed, and as they begin to repeat themselves, you understand this is not somebody that you want to be with. This is not a healthy partnership or relationship. It's what I call an unhealthy attachment. So when the narcissist is in his or her defensive mode, here's some of the things you just might hear. Why are you so mean to me? How come you don't understand me? Are you ignoring me? Don't I have any rights? You know I have this problem or that problem, and you should do all the work. So let's say you say, oh, honey, do you think you can help me with some of the housework? Oh, well, you know that, I shouldn't put any work into my body because, I'm in pain and I'm on pain pills, and they'll give you every reason. Now, I'm not saying there will never be a justifiable reason from a narcissist not to help you with the work, but when you understand how dirty and dishonest and how they do secret things behind your back, you understand you're not dealing with an honest person. So the few sprinklings of times that they may actually be honest is not enough for you to stick around for their abuse. And a real telltale sign of this is when they refuse to help with the housework or chores, and they're out playing the next day 3 hours of tennis in 90 degrees of weather. So again, intentions and consistency. So why is this passive-aggressive narcissist doing all of this? Why does any narcissist do any of their tactics? Well, they always want to feel like they're in control. They think they're completely superior to anyone and everyone else. Everyone else is beneath them. They are never accountable for their actions, and they always have to feel like they're winning. They're constantly jealous of their victims. That's right, and envious of your life, your heart, your joy within yourselves, your accomplishments. And whenever they frustrate you and use these tactics, it gives them an extra boost of supply, sick and twisted supply, that energizes them because they get a kick out of your anguish and your frustration and any types of confrontation where they feel they have won it over you. So what can you do about this passive-aggressive narcissist? Well, you can start by setting stronger boundaries, not tolerate any disrespect, recognize the game playing, and not put up with irresponsibility, confront the lies and deception, and stand your ground and not accept any ridiculing. And don't get into the pig pen and wrestle with the pig by trying to defend yourself to the narcissist. It's just a game to them. Again, set up strong boundaries and don't be afraid to detach and remove yourself from that situationship. There's a great verse in Matthew chapter 7, verse 6, and it goes like this. Do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine. Why? Lest they trample them under their feet, and if that's not enough, and turn and tear you into pieces. And that would describe the narcissist quite well. It's not enough to trample on your pearls. They're going to turn around and get the job done and tear you to pieces. And I don't want you to wait around till it gets to that point. I want you to want what God wants for you, and that is to be safe and protected by avoiding these people. Look, narcissists are demonically influenced, and God does not want you entrapped or entangled in those situationships. In fact, God's word says in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11 and 12, it says, and have no or zero fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. So if you think that the dirty, detestable things you're seeing visually in front of your very own eyes is just disgusting, you don't even want to know the secret dark things that are being done in secret against you. So share your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. And if you found this helpful, do hit the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, do hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I put out a video. And please share these messages of deliverance. You have no idea how many people are suffering behind closed doors and are too afraid to speak up. And now, until next time, walk in peace and be blessed in your hearts.